So I'll show you guys how to navigate this console. So I messed with the app, and so the app and the console reflect each other. However, they don't cancel each other out. So even if somebody's using the app, you can still use the console and vice versa. So you don't really have to ever worry about that. Okay, cool. So we have two screens for our console. This screen, this layout will never change. This will always remain here. However, this one works like Google, where you can add more tabs and you can change between tabs and what you want to see. So this console works like, so if you want to do something, you basically have to talk to it, right? So like if I want to turn off fixtures 1 through 12, all I have to do is type in 1 through 12, and I want to add 0, so I just press at 0, enter, going dark, and that turns off those fixtures. So it's basically you're talking to the console. So on the right hand side of the console, we have what's called hard keys. And basically we have soft keys, we have hard keys. Hard keys are what's actually physically you can touch. Soft keys is everything on the screens. So if I refer to do like a channel check, this button down here on the left screen, and I say, and we're doing like a phone support, I'm calling you, I say, hey, let's do a channel check. It's a soft key, that's what I'm referring to. It's somewhere on the screens. So the right side of the console, you have a number pad, and that's where you can type in all your fixture numbers and stuff like that. If we go further to the right, that's your command buttons. So out, full, your level, sneak, home, trace. Don't worry, we'll go over all those buttons. Up top here, these are our parameter buttons, which you can do intensity, focus, color, shutter, image, form. And I know that's a lot of words. That'll make sense right now. So if I do 14 through 17, full, enter, those are the movers right here. So those are your moving lights. So if I go up to parameter and I want to do, I want to focus the light, so I want to move it. So if I go to focus, I press focus. You can see right here on my left screen that I have pan and I have tilt. So these bars down here directly correlate with these wheels. So if I want to tilt it, so I see right here, it's my second bar, so I know I can, so if I want to tilt up, right, I can do tilt up, right? Okay, a lot of buttons, a lot of wheels, right? It can be really confusing. So an ETC made a page for this that makes it really easy. So right here where I said under tabs, we have a tab called ML Control. So I'm just gonna close that. So I'm gonna go to this plus button right here. And this brings up all the options for all the pages that you can choose. So and they're in order for what you need. So I'm gonna look for ML Control, which is right there, ML Controls. Cool, so this basically is just like gives you all the options of what you can do with the light that is selected, right? So to get rid of a selection, you're gonna press clear. Right, so now I have nothing selected. I have no fixtures selected. So if I want to select a fixture, I want to do 14 through 17, enter. So now I can see everything that I can control. So if I want to do, I can do the same thing. I can do, if I see pan and tilt up here, these wheels, you just click and drag, and I can change where I want them to go. And then you can also change the zoom. So I'm gonna do the max zoom. And then you can do minimum zoom. And then you can also do gobos. So, or cookies, as some people call them. So if I do that, if I select them right here, I'm gonna do 50% zoom, and then edge, which is your focus. A little bit more, wrong way, no, it's going the right way. Come on. Okay, so this is a really great example of how this doesn't always work. So this is where we're gonna go into the wheels. If I go to image, no. Form, yeah.
Go back a second and ask a really basic
Yes,
question.
go ahead.
You put in 14 through 17, is that referring to the numbers of that are associated with the lights?
That is an amazing question, and I was just about to get to that. Yes, Harry, how do you know what lights you're selecting? That is an amazing question, and it's because I've memorized every single fixture. I'm just kidding. There is a list that shows you what every fixture is. So, it is under patch. So a page called patch. Now, how does the console talk to the fixtures? That's an amazing question. So, it is through what we call patch, which is basically you're selecting. Okay, I'm getting lost. I'm sidetracked. Sorry. So, the concept of universes and DMX, we're gonna take the long road because it's gonna tie back in. Okay, everybody knows how the post office works, right? Okay, it's cool. So think of the post office as the console. Think of houses like they're a fixture, right? Every fixture needs an address and a street name. Think of the street name as a universe. Universes is just meant to control and organize information. So within a universe, you can have 512 channels that you can control. And a light takes up a certain amount of channels. So your movers right here take up 36 channels. So the address that I want to set for it, so let's say I want to use universe 1, and that I want to put one of these lights at address 1. So now the console knows, okay, address 1 on universe 1, I'm talking to that fixture right there. Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about that? No? Okay, cool. So, how do you actually input that into the console? That's a wonderful question, and I'm going to go over it right now. Okay, let's say we add another moving light, right? So, the channel number, so you have 3 bits of information on this screen. You have a channel number, you have an address, and the little number before the address, oopsie, they are touchscreen, so be careful with that, thank you. Okay, so the 2, when you see 2 dash, that means you're on the second universe, and the address follows after that. So if I want to add a new fixture, and let's say I want to put it at channel 60, so I'm going to type in 60, enter, and now 60 has been highlighted. So now if I move over to the left screen, right here where it says type, label, address, channel, that's where you're going to enter in all your information. So the type, what type of fixture is it? So I'm going to click type. And so right here, if you see, we have 3 buttons down here. We have show, manufacture, and search. So show, this is all the fixtures that are currently patched into your show. That's the current fixture types, right? You have manufacturer, which you can search through manufacturer, which you can go through. That's personally how I like to do it. So if I went to manufacturer, cool. Okay, now I want to add in, let's say another LED panel, right? One of your guys' apertures. So I know it's made by Aperture. So I'm gonna go to, starting the A's, Aperture Imaging Industries, awesome sauce. So now I have a list of fixtures that I can choose from. So what we're running is Nova P300Cs. So I'm going to click on Nova. And then now this is giving me an option of each profile that every fixture can be. So the Novas have, what is that, 10, 11, 12 different profiles that you can choose. So this is important when you're adding fixtures into the system. So right now I have it on them on CCT RGB. So I'm going to select CCT RGB. Okay, cool. Now I have my fixture type input onto the console, right? So I've chosen what fixture type I want. Now I need to put in the address, right? So right over here, you can see this is universe 1. So you have 1 through 512. This is where I was talking about how every fixture takes up a certain amount of channels. You can see how many they take up. So right now I have 1 through 138 taken up, and I have 171 through 362 taken up. So let's say, so this Nova takes up 7 channels, right? So you have intensity, you have red, green, blue, you have color correction, and then you have strobe, and then you have, you have warm, and then you have cool. So that's every parameter a fixture can do takes up a channel. So if I just have a dimmer, which just turns the light on and off. That's just one channel. So if I have a moving light, like those are the lights that take up a lot of channels. So they take up, I think, 48 channels. So they eat up a system quickly. So I think I was on a project a while back. We only had like 10 of those movers, and they ate up an entire universe. So you have to really be careful of like how you organize information, what you're putting into the system. Excellent question. So
the more the light can do, the more channels you have.
Correct. Yeah. So the more advanced the light is, the more information it's going to take up. However, the light that's a range. So that light can either do like 24 channels or 48 channels. However, if you do the 24, it's just a basic like function of the light. So for example, the pan and tilt function of the light in 24 channel mode, it's just going to give a basic speed. Right, it's not going to have that fine tuning of like, oh, I just want it just like a half an inch up more. It can't do that. It'll do like 2 inches up. Whereas in 48 channel, because you're adding all those parameters, it's going to be more. So you have like fine pan, fine tilt, all that kind of stuff. It just gives you guys more options to do, and it's better for this environment to do that. If we were at like an elementary school, that'd be a different story. But here, you guys need like every aspect of every fixture. So yeah, does anybody else have any questions?
Is there a list that we could print out of all the different type of fixtures, their addresses, and then the types?
Yeah, it's actually right here on this right here.
It.
Yeah. So we have it right here. So it's on the actual console. Yeah. So anyways, so okay. So I have the fixture type selected. Now I need to input the address. So I can see I have a gap at 363 right here. So I'm gonna go over here where it says address, and I'm gonna type in 360. Give me 1 second. 60. Enter. Nope, not 660. 60. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put it right there at 363. You can either click or you can type it into the address box in it, and then that's it. That's how you patch. And then so now if we actually had that light in here, you would go to the fixture, put in the address 363, and then you're good to go. So okay, so in your system right now you have two universes, right? So you have two think of them like two separate trash cans, right? So in the first trash can, universe 1, you have all these lights in it. Universe 2 is where you have all your relays. So in this system, you have two DMX cables coming out of the console that are in input 1 and input 2. They're right here. You have output 2, and then you have output 1, which is right here, and it's going into a box underneath the desk and going back to your relays. So this is what we call a conventional DMX system, where it's hardwired in and not a network system. Network systems are way more complicated, and I don't need to go over that. So basically, if you guys wanted to add more lights, or if you wanted to, like, let's say just set up a light down here, you can definitely run a DMX cable out from the back of here and just patch it in on Universe 3 example. So if you plug it in output 3, all you have to do is just type in 3- whatever you want it to be, and then you just input it on the console. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna go back to your question